Hey, are you tired of trying to sell insurance but having no one to talk to, or constantly wasting and spending all your time prospecting for the right insurance customers, the folks that actually need to consider insurance or even are the least bit interested in considering insurance? Well, today in this video, I'm going to introduce you to selling insurance with aged leads, and this can be a really excellent, low cost, affordable way to build up your sales pipeline. Hi, I'm Bill Rice on behalf of Age Lead Store, and today we're going to talk about selling insurance with age leads. So, if you've never heard of age leads before, I'm going to give you just kind of a brief introduction to what age leads are. They are essentially not essentially, they are exactly real time internet leads that have been aged, right? So they've been sitting around. They weren't able to be matched inside of the lead generators network for a variety of reasons. They have been sort of left abandoned, and that consumer is sitting there sort of without necessarily having been satisfied in their request for information about insurance. And in addition to that request, generally, the way that these are generated through websites is they're also expecting to have some comparisons, right? They're using these sites as a comparison shopping and efficient way to get multiple quotes. And so a lot of times age leads that you would buy from an age lead broker or somebody like ageleadstore.com, which I represent, is those folks have not been able to get multiple offers or quotes, again, for a variety of reasons. The other reason that this particular sort of video is important, even if you're not going to buy age leads, is there's a good chance that you have age leads sitting inside of your CRM. And so these techniques are going to be very similar. So again, you've got some leads inside of your CRM that for a variety of reasons, you have dispositioned in such a way that you haven't touched them or reached out to them in a long time. So again, it creates sort of the same dynamic. So you should definitely up your game on using age leads or understanding age leads sales processes and techniques in order to increase the amount of insurance that you're selling. So let's talk about this in particular, right? So age leads, again, create a great opportunity, whether you're buying them. They're usually a buck to $2 a piece, so you can buy a high quantity of them. You should definitely be looking in your CRM because there's probably a bunch of these sitting in there. And so in the context of that, you want to gather those together. And then when you look at that file, whether you're looking at it in the CRM or you're looking at it in the Excel spreadsheet you've gotten, you want to kind of take a look at those. You probably already filtered them in such a way. If you purchase them, you've had the opportunity to select different variables, credit scores, age of the lead, age of maybe the consumer, depending on what type of lead you're buying. So there's some features of that, some characteristics of that lead that the consumer has provided when they asked for and requested a quote, that you will be able to look at and potentially segment in a way that makes you more effective in your sales process. If you're looking in your CRM, you want to do the same thing, right? You want to go down through those and you want to take a look at and try to segment that in a way that will sort of help you be more effective. And a couple of the ways that I like to segment is to segment by age. That way I can tune my script to reflect the age of the lead, right? So if you're buying age leads, you're going to know when that consumer actually expressed that intent, right? When they actually filled out the form. And you could say things like in your opening line, hey, a couple months ago, you requested some information from the website and, we haven't connected, but I wanted to see if you were able to satisfy that, or if maybe you are interested in taking a look at a couple more options, or if it's maybe 3 months old or something like that, it's like, hey, it's been about 3 months. One, did you actually, get a quote? Did you get the insurance? And if you did, we should maybe take a look at that and reassess to see if it still fits, and maybe there's a better option at this point. So that's a really easy way. That's the beauty of kind of using age leads in the context of insurance, in my mind, is because generally folks are kind of always, again, depending on the insurance product, they're kind of always in the market for insurance. This is a little bit different than mortgage, where, hey, you only buy a house every so often, and maybe you only need to refinance every so often. But in the context of insurance, consumers generally should always be sort of shopping and making sure they have the right coverage, the best coverage, and making sure that the rate that they're paying is commensurate with sort of market rate at the time. And those things change. So you can always express those things to these aged leads to say, hey, I'm just recontacting you. There's all kinds of different premises that you can put inside of your script to get them interested, and also to kind of warm them up to having a call or scheduling an appointment with you. Is say, we're just going to reassess, we're going to take a look, we're going to see if there's more options. They've got a lot more carriers, and so we may be able to find something that's more better fit. So there's all kinds of different premises that you want to you can go in with there, and those are the things that you want to practice and you want to script out so that you can kind of do the initial step of your process, which is to build rapport with these. So one of the biggest mistakes I see with people that are working aged leads, again, whether you're buying them or you're actually pulling them out of your CRM, is they forget, don't just aggressively go after the sale. Like, truly try to build rapport with your database, right? If this is something that you just bought aged leads, your first objective is to build rapport in such a way that they consider you're their insurance guy or gal, right? That's the first thing I want to do, right? I want to, and we've got some other videos where we talk about kind of sales scripts, so I don't want to go too much into this, but with your tonality, your sort of friendliness, the first thing you want to do as you're reaching out to these leads is to be refreshing. And they're like, hey, this is somebody that I can trust. They're talking to me in a friendly and empathetic way, and I'm kind of enjoying this conversation. So the first thing we want to achieve when we're working these aged leads is to make sure that my script and my mindset is to build rapport with them first, because what I'm playing for is their long-term business, right? I want them to be in my database. I want them to be familiar with my name. I want them to be familiar with my insurance agency. I want them to start looking at me as, hey, if I have an insurance need, even if it's not right now, this is the person that I'm going to go to, right? So we're going to try, first and foremost, to build some rapport with all these aged leads. Even though they're a great value, you can buy hundreds of them for next to nothing. Don't just look at them as throwaways. Honestly, try to build rapport with each of them and build the strength of your overall database, right? The dollars, the money is in the list, so to speak, is in your database. So the bigger that database is, the more successful and the more premiums that you will be able to get at the lowest cost. So first and foremost, we're just trying to build that database, and we're trying to make sure that everybody in your database, everybody in your CRM, in your lead management system, knows you, will recognize your name, right? And look forward to, or at least be responsive to every time that you contact them. The second thing is persistence pays off, right? And so we want to be what I always call respectfully persistent, right? So we don't want to be a jerk. We don't want to hammer them like 100 times in one day, but we do want to be persistent, because persistence in the eyes of the consumer on the other side of that lead, they're respecting that, right? They're saying, hey, this person's persistent. They obviously have a good product. They're touching base with me. They're disciplined, right? In following up with me. And again, because these are aged leads and because they didn't cost as much as maybe a real-time lead or something like that, you can actually be more patient, right? You can string that persistence out. You don't have to hammer them 10 times in the first day like you do, real-time leads. You can just say, hey, reach out, try to do a check-in. If they don't respond to you, maybe you reach out again in 3 days. If they don't respond to you again, kind of in sort of 10 days. This is the cadence that I like to use. And again, we've got some other videos where I break this down specifically, but maybe in 10 days, you kind of do that breakup or take away the deal, as I say. And you just say, hey, it sounds like, I haven't heard from you. It sounds like, that I'm going to take that to mean that this is maybe not the best time right now. And so I'm not going to reach out to you, but if you need anything, please reach out to me. Right. And when you do that breakup email, that doesn't mean throw them away again and never talk to them. That just means now your sequence gets elongated. Right. So maybe you do another touch base in a month. And then after that, you do another touch base every quarter. Right. So you want to keep them in a sequence. Right. And you want to keep touching them. That's that that persistence that we want to achieve, but you're not hammering them. But that third email or that third call is often the most productive, because when you take that away, they're like, oh, I just haven't got around to it. But yeah, I definitely, I don't want to lose that person, right? I want them, I do want to have that conversation, right? So a lot of times that's the kind of response that I'll get out of that third email or that third phone call or voicemail is, oh, no, yeah, I've been busy, but yeah, I definitely still want to have a discussion. So that's going to be your most productive. So again, that's where persistence really pays off. And then the third and final part, why it's so important to use age leads in selling insurance, is because of that cost efficiency, right? I can get lots of at-bats. I can buy lots of leads, right? Hundreds. That is just going to make me better, right? Iron shoppers, we're going to sharpen those skills by just having a lot of reps, right? And anything we do, if you played sports or your academics, working on math, right? The more math problems you do, you get better and better at it, right? So we want reps in here. And so age leads is really the only and the most cost-effective way to have a lot of leads to work on and to really hone your sales technique and process. If you rely on real-time leads, I say this all the time, if you rely on real-time leads, sometimes they can actually build bad habits, right? Because the cost of those and the pressure to convert every one of those, either from yourself or from your sales director, is going to be enormous. So a lot of times you're actually going to create bad sales habits, right? Because you're going to be stretching, you're going to be reaching, you're going to be kind of, overdoing it. And so a lot of times, if you're not balancing that with some volume brought with age leads, then you're going to build some bad techniques, because you're going to be working from a mindset of scarcity, and that's always counterproductive, right? And so by using age leads or by introducing age leads as a component of what you're doing, it creates a sense of abundance, right? And so every one of those outreaches, you don't have to win every one. You don't have to get contacts. You don't have to get responses. If somebody responds to you in a negative way, it doesn't completely devastate you. And so there's a lot of value to just kind of the ability to have a much larger database and be able to refine that sales pitch in a good environment with lots of abundance and not that pressure to convert every single deal. So hopefully these have been some good insights and giving you some ideas and ways to try using age leads for selling insurance. I'd love for you to check out ageleadstore.com. It's an easy way for you to go in there, filter through age leads, buy them in a really affordable way, 24/7. It's an e-commerce store, so you can filter, sort, and buy those leads in real time. Grab them, get that Excel download, load it in your CRM, and start practicing these techniques and selling more insurance. So, encourage you to, of course, subscribe and hit that notification button so you get every single one of these training updates. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.